Hello everyone and welcome back to IPL Trivia Fever with your host Priyadarshan. I'm here to do the pre-match review for today's first match, that is the Kolkata Knight Riders taking on the Delhi Capitals. Now, before we get to the points table and the stats and statistics and the lineups of the teams, it's time for some questions. So here are two questions for the players of the Delhi Capitals. Here comes question number 1. Who was the youngest player to open the batting in IPL history at the age of 18 years and 165 days? So, who is this youngster who was actually gained fame before he came to the IPL? So, can you guess? I think some of you would have got it. The player that we are talking about is Prithvi Shaw. Now, why had he gained fame before he came to the IPL was because he is the winning captain of the India under 19 team. So he has had on and off seasons in the IPL. This IPL he started off really well, but now he's a bit struggling to middle the ball. But we all know that he is a good batsman and he can score those big runs when required. So that was our first question. Moving on to our second question. He represented the West Indies at the under 19 level, captaining the team to victory in the 2016 Under 19 Cricket World Cup in Bangladesh, and they beat India in the final. So, name this cricketer who we are talking about. So, since I've told you that it's West Indies and I'm talking about the Delhi Capitals team, I think you know who we are talking about. The player that we are talking about is the explosive batsman, and that is Shimron Hetmyer. So those were the two questions for the Delhi Capitals team. Now it's time to move on to KKR. So here comes the first question. Who became the first ever bowler from Rajasthan to grab a hat-trick in List A cricket? It was only his second game and Gujarat was cruising at 152 for 5, needing just 32 runs to win. This is when the right fast bowler struck for the first time and Gujarat got out for a score of 169. So who is this bowler that we are talking about? Now KKR has invested a lot in the youngster crowd and they have picked out some great players who have very good potential, but this bowler that we are talking about is Kamlesh Nagarkoti. So even in the IPL he has managed to take wickets of some big names and we know that he is a very good bowler, good line and length. So that was the answer for the first question. Moving on to our second question, or our last question for today. Australia announced the concept of two vice captains for test teams. In January 2019, who became one of Australia's two vice captains alongside Travis Head? So who is this Australian? So obviously when we're talking about the KKR team, there is only one Australian there apart from Tom Banton. So now I guess you know who we're talking about. We are talking about the fast bowler, the most expensive player in this IPL, and that is Pat Cummins or Patrick Cummins. So those were our four questions. I hope you enjoyed them. And now it's time for some stats and statistics. So obviously KKR lost their previous match really miserably and they weren't, I don't know, it was a bad day for them. All of them were really not out there. Brendan McCullum also had a lot to say after the match in the press conference that was held later, or what he wrote on social media as well. Well, the team needs to find its form. One decision which I was not really happy about was the fact that they dropped Andre Russell. Now I know he is in the team mainly because of his batting capabilities and his hitting power, but that being said, he has managed to also provide with the ball because he is not able to score with the bat. He has been their death over specialist, and now that they've got Lockie Ferguson, like there was always this issue with Kolkata from the start as to who should be the fourth international player. Well, Pat Cummins had to play, Ian Morgan had to play, and they have got a Lockie Ferguson now. Well, Sunil Narine was always there, but now with all the controversy that was going on, well, he has got a green card, but should they bring him back in the squad? Should they use Chris Green? Should they use Tom Banton? Or should they keep Lockie Ferguson? So I feel the fact that they have found Lockie Ferguson and he's bowling so very well, they should still give a chance to Andre Russell because it's only a matter of one match where he clicks. And that is how important this match is for the Kolkata Knight Riders. Well, they are going up against a team that has been going all guns blazing, and especially with Shikhar Dhawan to back-to-back centuries. Wow, this team is really, really looking like the team to beat. But if Kolkata lose this match, they will still be on the fourth spot on the table, but they would have played 11 games and they would be at 8 points. That means that in the evening match, when when Punjab play SRH, whichever team wins will be at 10 points, and then due to the net run rate, there's a good possibility that KKR might drop out of the top four, and that is something that KKR wouldn't want. So I feel they should try to get Andre Russell back in the squad, use Lockie Ferguson and Pat Cummins to get those wickets, and obviously they have Ian Morgan, who is a good batsman. And again, I feel uh, it's okay for the KKR batsmen to take a few extra overs to settle in rather than crumbling down like like they did in the previous match. So I hope to see some changes in the squad. I hope they won't go with the same squad. There's no doubt about the capabilities of Tom Banton. It's just that he's been brought into the team too late into the tournament, according to me. Had he had a few games, had he got a chance to understand the pitch, because where they are practicing, those are all practice pitches. They're not playing on the real pitch. So it's really difficult to read things on the go or so quickly. Another very good option I feel is Chris Green. If they actually want to replace Andre Russell, they can give a chance to Chris Green. He is also an all-rounder, and they get one more spin option, in which case they can drop a Kuldeep Yadav and get another batsman into the team so that they have an extra all instead of just an all-rounder, they have one more extra batsman as well, and they will have two spinners in the form of Chris Green and obviously Varun Chakravarti. So I'm just waiting to see the changes that they make to the KKR side. Talking about the Delhi Kings 11, the Delhi Capitals. Since Prithvi Shaw is struggling a bit, I feel it's okay to give a chance to Ajinkya Rahane and bench Prithvi Shaw for a match or so. Whereas Shikhar Dhawan, he's going really well. The pace attack for Delhi is what is very deadly. And they have Ravichandran Ashwin, they have a Rabada, they have Andrich Nokia. And so it's really, really a strong unit, a good batting lineup as well. So I still feel this is not a one-sided match, though many might think otherwise. Kolkata will be looking for this win as desperately as Delhi want those 2 points, because they were on the top of the table and they obviously would want to stay there. So let's see how this match goes. All the best to all the fans out there, and I think it's time for some IPL action.